Now I lay me. A third of our life we spend sleeping. A welcome respite from reality, a time free from mundane worries. Though it's true that sleep can sometimes be fatal, I can't think of a better way to go. Though I wonder if one is aware of it when it happens. Perhaps I'll find out. My father did. Perhaps I'll inherit that knowledge. Sleep is an important non-activity, a recharging of our batteries, so to speak, and we live in an alternative reality in our dreams, which we can escape from if things get too hairy. Unlike waking reality and its unavoidable duties, I think that's why I like it. I can be off duty for a while. As an old man now, I wonder why as a child sleep felt like punishment. Bedtime meant I'd be missing out on something, I guess, with perhaps a residual fear I'd not wake up because I had plans to do things tomorrow. Now I know better. Tomorrow should be thought of as a gift and not an expectation anymore. A pleasant surprise instead of a dawning of harness. Accepting the morning light instead of begrudging it. Now I'm glad to go to bed, and if I don't wake up, I guess that'll be the end of the poetry.
Here, here, here. Oh, that was fun.
Well then, I think it's time for a detective story.
Yay!
So last year I read a detective's Christmas story, and it went over pretty well. And so actually I'm reading it again, and this is for Jerry, because Jerry says that he likes to hear them in my voice, and then after that, whenever he reads one of them, he can hear my voice reading it. So, a detective's Christmas story. I was a week into my stakeout in front of Botticelli's grocery when I first saw the kid. It had been cold, snow and icicles. The city looked like the inside of my Frigidaire. Even the popsicles were shivering. The kid wasn't dressed for it, but day after day he was back to the same shop window across the street from my stakeout, pushing his runny nose against the glass. My first response was to yell at him to beat it, but that would have been out of character, because I was in disguise. I was Santa Claus. Botticelli had hired me to find out who was kiping his produce. He was old school and liked to wheel out stacks of fruit on the sidewalk in front of his store, cold or hot, rain or shine. My job was to find out who was pilfering peaches, pocketing pomegranates, purloining the plums. You get the picture. It had not been an easy nut to crack from a professional standpoint. My first thought was to rent a room across the street, set up a spotting scope, and spy on the felonious fruit fleecer. But Botticelli nixed the idea. Fruit, it grow on trees, Mr. Hercula. Money, it don't. A drugstore wooden Indian costume would have been perfect, except it wasn't a drugstore, and there was the real danger of customers' dogs mistaking me for a fire hydrant. Finally, I had a stroke of genius. Hadn't I seen Santas outside stores around town? After some quick surveillance, I found out what I'd need. A Santa costume, a bell, and for some reason a bucket or a pot or something. I gathered my tools, and 2 weeks before Christmas, there I was, ho-ho-hoing and ringing my bell, keeping my jolly old eyes peeled. I solved the case in 2 hours. It was old Mr. Springer's seeing eye spaniel. Springer was blind, so it took him a while to pick out the right fruit. And all the time the dog was wolfing down plums and grapes and cherries like he was at a church potluck. I'd hate to have to clean Springer's yard. That job would be the pits. But I found out something that made me pause. Something that stopped me from spilling the beans on the mango-munching bird dog. Something to delay me from blowing the whistle on this berry-browsing Bowser. People going by would throw money at my pot. Now I got it. Duh me. That appeared to be the purpose of the pot in the first place. What a scam. But then I reasoned it out. Sure, how else was Santa supposed to pay for all those toys? Not to mention the reindeer. Hay don't grow on trees either. And then there was Purina elf pellets or whatever. If I held off fingering Fido, I could reap this holiday harvest all the way to New Year. Fat lot I knew. Turns out after Christmas, Santa is persona non grata. Pardon my French. There for a while, though, we made some beautiful music together. The softer brushes of folding cash slipping into the pot, the tinkle of coins, and me and my bell calling in the sheep for shearing. It was a sweet setup. I even tried to get Hank the Pigeon involved. Got him a little elf hat, but he wouldn't have nothing to do with it. I guess he thought he'd look undignified or something. What a laugh. Okay, it was a bum idea, especially since you could bet Hank would be up to his beak in blueberries and Botticelli would bust him. But it was a sweet setup. It was too cold for the horses to race, but if I held on to some of this moolah till it warmed up, I had visions of Prancer dashing to the finish line in the fourth handicap, Donner beating Blitzer by an antler, and then the kids started showing up. Standing on the sidewalk, staring in the store window and hugging himself to keep warm. What was the deal? I wondered why he didn't try and cozy up to me. I was Santa, right? You'd think the kid would be working me like a pump handle. All week long, Botticelli let me share a dressing room with a broom closet. And after I shrugged off Santa, I'd help him wheel the produce back in. It was getting to be a real trick to keep him dumb about the booty I was raking in. My pockets were so full of spare change, I sounded like a walking jingle bells. And every day another litany of questions. Mr. Erkela, 4 purple plum, 3 fata pear, 2 bunch of grape, and an apple by the front door. You paying attention out there or taking a nap? They're slick, Botticelli. Obviously a pro at work, maybe a team of them. Chill out. We'll ice this fish. This not about fish, Erkela. This about fruit. 5 apricot, 4 purple plum, 3 fata pear. Right, I cut him off. Never you fear, Botticelli. I'll be putting the bite on these guys any day now, I said, slipping on my trench coat and heading out the door. I was in such a hurry to get away, I nearly ran over the kid. Sorry, mister, he said. You lose something in there, kid? I asked him, looking in the plate glass. It was weird. Just a winter scene, a couple of mannequins tricked up to look like a boy and his mom, matching ski parkas. They looked like they were having fun playing in the fake snow. And then it hit me. They were warm. They looked warm, too. Excuse me. Not like this poor kid standing there shivering on the sidewalk. I was just thinking how my mom would like that coat, mister. He was pitiful. I couldn't help myself. I got a tear in the eye. She's always so cold this time of year, he sniffed. You come here every day, don't you? How do you know that, mister? I'm just guessing, Junior, I said, backpedaling. You know what's weird, mister? You kind of look like that Santa by the grocery. You both wear the same kind of shoes. No, kid. You got me mixed up with somebody else. I'm the Easter Bunny. But that was too close for comfort. Sorry, kid. Gotta go catch the sugar plum ferry. And me and Santa's wingtips hurried off. The kid was back the next day and the next, standing there in his thin little jacket, wiping his nose in his sleeve and looking in on the lucky mannequins. It stayed cold. Colder than the shady side of an ice cube tray, colder than my luck with the horses, let alone women. The only thing colder was Botticelli's icy glare at the end of each day, but I kept making up excuses and putting him off. 12 peaches missing, 11 tangerine, 10 pomegranate. My reputation was taking a beating, but the closer it got to Christmas, the more lettuce in my salad bowl. I couldn't squeal on the spaniel yet, I couldn't rat out Rover. The Santa thing was just too lucrative. What else could I do? I kept ringing the bell and dodging Botticelli. Then one day the kid brought his mom. She was a frail. Her coat was thinner than his. She put her arm around him and hugged him close as they both stared in the window. I got another tear in the eye. Started thinking about all this money. I was piling up. I mean, my rent was paid, the track closed, I had no worries, and my wallet was gagged to the gunnels with greenbacks. What to do? They wandered away and I started getting an idea. The gig was up. That was it. I was through being a Sikh Fanta, an ersatz Claus, an Ain't Nicholas. At quitting time, Botticelli was swooping around as usual like a fruit bat. 7 pound of peanuts, 6 ripe banana, 5 apricot. Hold it, Botticelli. I finally got the goods on our fruit napper. Your perpetrator is a pup. Springer Spaniel. Well, the old man's busy kneading nectarines, the dog's gobbling groceries. Is true, Mr. Akala? You solve case of fruit? Oh, happy day! He was fairly dancing now. You going to get a bonus? Well, hold your horses, Botticelli. You're already out a bunch of produce. Keep a couple sawbucks, cut your losses. Christmas, Erkila, Christmas. I give you this merry way. He wouldn't be denied no matter how guilty I felt, so I decided I better go along with him. I didn't have any choice. And besides, like I said before, I was getting an idea. I guess this means you're 86, Springer. Mr. Springer, very loyal customer, Mr. Akala, and he having a hard time fixing income. I make a gift basket for both of them. This is gonna make me very happy. Let me see, he said, going to work. 10 a strawberry, 9 a piece of jerky. Botticelli, I told him, you make Santa look like a slacker. The way he laughed, you'd have thought I told a joke. And then I got out of there. I had my own work to do. I went across the street, found the shopkeeper, and with shopkeeper with the dummies, and bought the coats. I didn't even ask the price, let alone try to talk him down. I just kept pulling money out of my wallet until it looked like I'd been on a Jenny Craig diet plan. Santa the sap. Well, somebody's going to be warned this Christmas, he said, as my holiday spirit heated at the cockles of his cash register. You seen a kid in front of the store window lately, I asked, while they gift wrapped the coats. Why, yes, I have. Tomorrow when he shows up, give these packages to him, okay? Why, sure, mister. What's your name? I'd like to tell him who it's from. Oh, never mind that. I'll write something on the tags. He'll know. The shopkeeper handed me a pen. I brushed a tear out of my eye, sniffed, and wrote, Merry Christmas, kid, from the Easter Bunny. It was a Christmas to remember. Hank the Pigeon and I had Christmas dinner at our favorite restaurant, Dim Sui's Chow Mein Palace and Tomaine Takeout. Dim's wife, Sen Sen, took a Polaroid of the two of us wearing our Santa hats. Hank was a good sport about it, but I have to admit he had been right, not wanting anything to do with my skin. The hat did make him look ridiculous. Come to think of it, so did I. The both of us sitting there with a tear in the eye, goofy hats, and this big old grin plastered all over our mugs. I guess we're just a couple of saps. Well, okay, maybe not Hank, but me anyway. Case closed. You're welcome.